Yes, I really think there's a possibility that these could have been designed by angels. Hey guys, how's it going? So today we're going to talk about the ND filters and ND polarizer filters from PolarPro for the Mavic 2 Pro. So let's get right to it. So first of all, yes, these were sent to me, and yes, I'm a big fan. So disclaimer, this is not going to be a very impartial review, but I'm free to give you guys my honest opinion. Now, you want beautiful footage, right? Well, getting aerial footage is cool enough in itself, but when you invest a large chunk of your hard-earned money, chances are that you're also looking to get impressive video out of it. So to achieve video to the same level as professionals, you really need to use ND filters. Even with the Mavic 2 Pro with its adjustable aperture, there are times when the skies are still too bright. Even if you have your ISO set to 100 and your aperture at f11, which is the smallest that it goes, the higher the number, the less light that comes into the sensor, you still can't reach that perfect 180-degree shutter rule. Now, in case you don't know, this rule basically is the rule of cinematic footage, and it states that your shutter speed should be twice that of your frame rate, or as close to it as possible. This allows for the perfect amount of motion blur that you see on the big screen. It matches what we see in the real world, and it's pleasing to the brain. Now, what do all these numbers mean? Well, the higher the ND filter, the less light that's allowed into the lens. So an ND4 blocks just a little bit of light, where the ND64 blocks a very large amount of light. Now an ND4 and ND8 works best on cloudy days, but on days when the sun is bright and high in the sky, you're going to need a stronger ND filter. I will tell you guys that 75% of the time on a sunny day, I use an ND16, especially with the Mavic 2 Pro, because the benefit of the Mavic 2 Pro is being able to adjust that aperture. With my Mavic Pro and my Mavic Air, when I used ND filters, if the sunlight changed, like for instance on a partly cloudy day, I would have to actually lower my drone, put on a different ND filter if the sun was out, and then if the cloud moved over the sun, I had to actually put on a different ND filter. But with the Mavic 2 Pro and its adjustable aperture, I can now adjust the aperture depending upon the light. So really an ND16 is probably your most versatile filter. Now, what are these with the PL on them? Well, these are polarizer filters, and they accomplish two things. One, they reduce or even eliminate reflections, like on cars and glass, lakes and streams and things like that. But secondly, and more importantly, they provide deeper colors in your image, especially in the blues and the greens. So if you're looking for a nice deep blue sky or rich colors in the trees, use a polarizer filter. Now, can you use a polarizer filter on a cloudy day? Some say no, but I say yes. So for example, here's a video that I just shot using an ND4. I put on the ND4 because it's cloudy, but it's really thin clouds and the sun is getting through those clouds. So an ND4 worked just right. So here's footage with just the plain old ND4 filter on it. Now here is the footage from the ND4 polarizer filter. As you can see, even though it's cloudy out today, that ND polarizer filter gives just a little more richer color in the video. Yes, of course, polarizer filters work best on sunny days when you're flying at a 90-degree angle to the sun. And so what I mean by that is, for instance, the sun is directly straight ahead of me right here. And when I say 90 degrees, that means you want to be pointing in this direction, which is 90 degrees to the sun, or in this direction, which is 90 degrees to the sun. You're still going to get polarizing effect if you're facing directly away from the sun, but it's going to be a lot more pronounced when you're flying at a 90-degree angle. But they also make your videos look better on cloudy days. Now, one thing that you should be aware of if you are using the polarizer filters, you will see that they have this little white dash on them. That little white dash will help you determine how much polarizing effect that you're using. So if that little dash is set at the very top, let's say it's 12 o'clock, let's imagine this is a clock, and it's set to 12 o'clock, you're gonna get the most polarizing effect. You're gonna get the deepest blues and the deepest greens. But there's times where you maybe don't want that. You want to have a little less saturation because otherwise your video is gonna look kind of fake. And so what I typically do is I have that little dash set to 2 p.m. or 10 a.m. depending on how much sun is out there. So on a day like today when it's thin clouds, the sun is getting through but it's kind of cloudy, I have that polarizer effect set all the way up to the top. But on a very bright sunny day, I have that polarizer turned down a little bit to 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. So I have two sets of the PolarPro ND filters here. They're both the Cinema series, but one is the ND4, the ND8, and the 16, and then the polarizer filters of those. And then the next one is the limited edition, the limited collection, excuse me, and that comes with the ND32, the 64, and then the 32 and 64 polarizing filters. Now this limited collection is meant for those really bright sunny days. You know, those times where you're shooting at maybe high noon, the sun is really high in the sky, and it's super bright outside. Then you're gonna want the limited collection. But really most of the time, probably 75% or more of the time, the regular Cinema Series pack with the 4, the 8, and the 16 are going to work the best for you. When you open up the package, you're going to see that it has a filter removal tool, and this is actually very cool because on the Mavic 2 Pro lens, when you take off that UV filter that's on there, it's actually quite hard to do with your fingers. And so PolarPro has included this removal tool. It makes things nice and easy to uninstall and install filters on your Mavic 2 Pro camera. It also comes with a little filter user guide and a cleaning cloth as well. I just can't tell you how impressed I am with this package. I mean, look at this. This looks like, this is high-class stuff, you guys. If you guys are considering purchasing some ND filters or polarizer filters for your Mavic 2 Pro, I'll put a link down in the description where you can purchase these. When you guys receive your Mavic 2 Pro filters from PolarPro, you're going to be real impressed with not only the packaging, but also the build quality of these filters. They meet the standards of the Mavic 2 Pro when it comes to design. They use the highest grade glass and coatings and aircraft aluminum frames. And I think the most important thing is they come with a lifetime warranty. So if anything goes wrong with these filters when you own them, they will replace them. PolarPro does have an app that can help you decide what filter to put on there. So with the combination of using the PolarPro app as well as experience, you're gonna figure out which filter to use without even having to think about it. So that's it for this video. If you guys have any questions at all about these filters, if you need help in how to use these filters, drop me a comment down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you got anything of value out of this video, click on that thumbs up button. Let me know that you liked it. Also, if you're not subscribed, be sure to click on the subscribe button as well as the notification bell. I want to thank you guys for watching today. And as always, fly safe and fly smart.